Hey there, my name's Rita and I am a 35-year-old woman. For a couple of years of my life, I was paralyzed. Yes, paralyzed. It happened because of a car accident, and honestly, I was just grateful to be alive. That time was a tough one for me to go through because it opened up my eyes to the true colors of my then husband, Sam. I met Sam at the movies. Yes, I know, that sounds kind of crazy. I happened to go to watch this movie alone, and just happened to be sitting next to each other. We got to talking and joking around about the movie. When we got out of the theater, I got to take a proper look at his face, and I was literally struck by how handsome he looked. We decided that we didn't quite want to stop talking, so we went to the cafe nearby and got ourselves some coffee. This one spontaneous date led to several more. Sam was genuinely a great guy. He was funny and just knew how to make any time a good time. He also came from a family with money, so he was never shy to spoil me senseless. I had a lot of fun with him. So when he proposed to me after 4 years of dating, I was more than excited to live a good life with him. The next couple of years were great, or so I thought. I mean, looking back, I see a lot of the issues that existed that I just brushed off because I loved him. But nonetheless, I had a good time with him. Of course, like any regular couple, we had our fights. It was on one particular day we were having an argument and we got into a car crash. I don't even remember what we were arguing about, but I do remember that we were yelling at the bag to each other. In a moment of anger while driving the car, Sam pulled his phone out to send a text. He moved his eyes off the road and didn't pay attention to his steering. Next thing I know, I skit, yelling because we're driving into the divider. And then I black out. When I wake up, I see Sam sitting by my side looking beat up. Turns out I had been in a coma for about 2 weeks. My parents had also taken turns sitting by my side, although there was some tension between them and Sam. I guess he told them the truth. The first thing I became aware of was the lack of feeling in my legs. I began panicking about it. The doctors rushed to get some tests done, and then I was told that I was going to be paralyzed. I was devastated and inconsolable for a while. I couldn't understand how he could be so insensitive towards me during such a difficult time. It was then that I realized that our relationship was not going to work out and decided to part ways with him. It was a tough decision, but it was necessary for me to move on and focus on my recovery. I had to learn to do things on my own and be independent. It was a challenging journey, but I am grateful for it because it taught me a lot about myself and made me stronger. I am now in a much better place, both physically and emotionally. I have learned to appreciate the small things in life and cherish every moment. Thankful for the love and support of my family and friends who have been there for me through thick and thin. I'm also thankful for my own resilience and determination that have helped me overcome. He said adversity, life may not always be easy, but I have learned to take it one day at a time and make the best of it. I am Rita, and this is my story. If he could carry me over to the coach. Hi, my love, how was work? I asked, still hoping for some comfort from him after a long day of feeling isolated.
It was so tiring. I just want to take a hot shower and relax, was his response, showing no empathy towards my situation.
You go do that, but before you do you think you could just carry me over to the couch so I can watch some TV? I asked, trying to keep the desperation out of my voice.
Are you serious? Does my being tired mean nothing to you? He snapped, showing his frustration towards me.
The idea, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I said, feeling guilty for even asking for his help.
You didn't mean to. Please, you always mean to make things worse for me, said, leaving me feeling even more guilty and helpless.
I'm sorry. I just feel like I'm going to go insane because I'm constantly in here. If it was such a big deal, you could have just said no, I exclaimed, feeling like I was at my breaking point.
Whatever, I can't do this anymore. He said, leaving me feeling abandoned and heartbroken. I fought, but he...
What are you talking about? I asked, confused and hurt by his sudden change in attitude.
I can't deal with you. You're so tiring. I hate it. I deserve way better than this. I'm done. I'm leaving. He said, leaving me in shock and heartbroken.
You can't leave me. How am I supposed to do anything in this state? I asked, feeling helpless and alone.
I don't know, and quite frankly, I don't care. Do what you like. Bai said, leaving me in a state of despair.
Free application, I was beyond heartbroken. I know that caring for someone who is paralyzed is not an easy task. It is a full-time job. At the same time, we vowed to stay together through sickness and in health, and this would see as but was in this position to begin with because of his rash driving. I know he hadn't been the greatest whenever I did fall sick. He would literally leave me to deal with my sickness alone. There was this one time that I came down with pneumonia and needed to be hospitalized. He conveniently had a business trip to go on right when I started showing symptoms, and when I called him, my symptoms got worse, he told me that he wouldn't come back. I don't even know how I managed to get to the hospital on my own, but as soon as I got into the ER, I collapsed. I was hospitalized for 3 weeks, and not once did he even call to check up on me. When I did get better and I was allowed to go back home, he came back. We had a huge fight, and he didn't even apologize once. Look, I should have left him right there and then, but I thought that it was something I could get over, and I didn't want to let go of him. I guess it's right that love blinds people. Avery managed to fall asleep that night. The next morning, though, I needed help getting out of bed, but I couldn't do it myself. I can't even begin to describe how helpless I felt. I remember breaking it down again for a while, before it was stable enough to call my mom and ask her to come over. He's helped me out of bed and helped me freshen up. It felt so comforting to have my mother take care of me like she used to when I was a child. When I was settled back down in bed, my mom asked me where Sam was.
I'm not trying to say that I don't want to help you, darling, but where is Sam?
He left.
Left? What do you mean?
Last night, we had an argument because he had just gotten back from work and was too tired to take care of me. All I asked him to do was move me to the living room so we could watch TV together. That's hardly a difficult task. No offense, darling, but you barely weigh anything. I've seen him carry your drunk brother from the driveway to his room upstairs after they went drinking together after work. I know, but he thought that was asking too much. He told me he couldn't keep doing this for the rest of his life. So, he just left.
That son of a gun. How could he do that to someone he claimed to love? If your dad got paralyzed, I would have been there with him no matter how tired I was. That's what love is.
Yeah, I wish I knew that. He's done this before too, you know. Whenever I've been sick, he's left me to deal with it alone. I guess I just hoped my being paralyzed would be different.
Okay, well, I don't love him too much. I'm going to call his dad. Bill will definitely be able to get a hold of him. Let's see what happens.
Of course, she didn't do that immediately. I was still her first priority. She made me food and bathed me. She helped me get into the living room, where we spent time watching crappy reality TV and just overall enjoying our time together. My medication made me feel pretty sleepy, so sometime around late afternoon, I fell asleep on the couch. Because when I woke up later that night, my mom had dinner ready for me. While we ate, she told me that she had called Bill and told him about what Sam had done. He had promised her to take care of it, but he did ask if it would be possible to invite Sam over so he could talk to him in front of us. I didn't know what Bill had in mind, but I knew that Bill loved me and had considered me to be like his own daughter, so he would definitely give Sam a piece of his mind. I wanted to be there to see it happen, so I told my mom that Bill was welcome to do whatever he wanted. It took about a week before I saw Bill. My mom and dad had moved in with me by this point. My dad was ready to punch Sam, but my mom and I had to convince him to let Bill deal with it instead. When
Rita, I'm so sorry for everything Sam has done. I spoke to him the other day, and well, I found out that this has been a recurring thing in your relationship. I'm really sorry. Rita, I'm so sorry for everything Sam has done. I spoke to him the other day. I found out that this has been a recurring thing in your relationship. I'm really sorry about it. Yes, I understand. My wife and daughter have told me that you will do something about it. If you don't, I will find Sam and punch him senseless. I do have things in mind, but you are also free to do verses that you want. And
What do you have in mind?
well, first off, I'm disowning him. I want no part in his rash and ignorant behavior. This is not the son I raised. Secondly, I will personally fund all of Ryda's treatments. I'll make sure that to walk again if that's the last thing I do.
Oh, Bill, that means so much to me. You have no idea. Thank you so much, really, from the bottom of my heart. I'm so grateful to you.
You deserve better than Sam. I was going to send him the money to help you get better. But I'm glad I didn't, because I'm sure that someone as selfish as him would have spent that money on himself.
Thanks a lot, Bill. We are indebted to you.
No, none of that. If anything, I'm indebted to Rita for putting up with Sam. I have one more thing to do. If it's okay, I would like to have Sam over this weekend because I want Sam to witness it.
Oh, we're okay with it.
Okay, great. Also, Rita, you have your first appointment with a new specialist tomorrow. I'll send someone to pick you up and drop you off. Don't worry about anything. I'll take care of you.
Thank you so much, Bill.
after Bill left, my parents and I were left kind of speechless. How did a man as generous and kind as Bill ever raise someone like Sam? My life was about to change yet again, but for the first time, exits to Sam's in a while, it was in a good way. I was and still am grateful to Bill for everything he did for me. The Teen Malicy people. The next day, my mom accompanied me to the doctor's. After a bunch of rigorous scanning and prodding, the doctor told me that I had suffered an injury that was pretty curable. He had me referred to the best physiotherapist and told me to get started with physiotherapy as soon as possible. I cannot even tell you just how happy I was to hear that. Both my mom and I burst into tears of joy. I was going to be able to regain my motor functions, and I would be able to feel my legs again. When we got home, we told my dad, and it was about the first time I had seen my dad cry in front of me. We were really, really happy. The rest of the week was spent going to physiotherapy. I was told that it would take a couple of years until I relearned how to walk again. But I was okay with it as long as I could walk and feel my legs. It was tiring, I'm not going to lie. I never realized just how physically and mentally taxing it was to do physio. When you do it, you're suddenly aware of just how incapable you are. But I knew I had to keep going for my life to get better. Finally, the weekend arrived. I waited nervously for Sam and Bill to show up. Bill had told us that he had threatened to fire Sam if he didn't come over and apologize, but he didn't tell him that he would be coming over as well. So Sam would come over first, and then he would. It was when Sam finally came over. I'll admit I wanted to start yelling at him. I wanted to hurt him just as much as he hurt me. But I wanted to let Bill do what he wanted to do.
Ashton and my parents just glared at Sam. Sam walked over to me and tried to carry on a regular conversation.
Hey Rada, is that all you have to say? You left me for almost a month, and this is all you have to say. What are you even doing here? Don't make this hard, Rita. You were the one who was texting and driving. And on top of that, you left me all alone, knowing I can't do things on my own.
See, this is why I can't take care of you. You constant nagging, and you always make me feel bad.
I make you feel bad? Since when? You've never once taken care of me?
And see you do this, do you think I don't feel bad?
I don't think you do. If this was your way of apologizing, it's sad.
Whatever. I tried to apologize, but you were being difficult. I did my best. I'll just leave now.
I couldn't believe that this was the man I had married. This was not the Sam I knew. Had he always been this heartless? I felt a lump form in my throat, and my eyes started tearing up. My heart hurt. I knew it was bad enough that Bill had to threaten him for him to even come back to apologize, but he literally didn't even try. He just blamed me even more. Did he really not feel apologetic or even sympathetic towards me? Was I not worth that much to him? I looked over at my parents and I saw both of them looking just as shocked. As soon as Sam turned to leave, I saw my dad snap out of his shock and race toward Sam. Before Sam could even register what was happening, my dad turned Sam around and punched him square in the nose. Sam yelled and hunched over in pain. He began screaming at my dad, while my mom rushed over and held my dad's hand to examine it. Thinking back, that was kind of funny. My mom chose to see if my dad hurt his hand instead of being bothered about Sam's pain. While we were all caught up with whatever happened, we didn't notice that Bill had walked in. He took one look at Sam's bleeding and bruised nose and my dad's bruised knuckles. I guess he figured out at least what had happened. My parents eventually noticed Bill there, and when Sam saw my parents look in Bill's direction, he too looked up. Seeing his dad standing there made his face pale.
Dad, what are you doing here?
I thought I would drop in to see how the apology was going, and well, I guess it didn't go so well.
I tried, but this man hit me.
No, not really. He just blamed me for everything, and when I called him out for doing that, he told me he left because I was too difficult.
Wow. I would love to say that I'm surprised, but I expect nothing more from you, Sam, and you've disappointed me yet again.
Oh, come on, Dad. You have to admit she's being difficult. You try taking care of someone who's constantly nagging.
Hence, if I was the reason that someone needed to be taken care of in the first place, I'd deal with anything they did or said. You're selfish and ignorant, and I want nothing to do with you. You will clear your desk out tomorrow and get out of all of our lives. Just to get out of all of our lives.
Oh, but you can't do that. I'm literally your legal heir.
Here now. Well, I'm so disappointed in you. The sight of your face makes me so irrationally angry. Your mother would have been ashamed of you.
You're heartless. How can you do this to me?
I'm the one that's heartless. Sam, you were the one who abandoned your paralyzed wife. You were the one who got into an accident that led to her paralysis. I said I was sorry, but you didn't listen. I know, society, and you're not gonna get anything from me, or Rita.
What will I possibly get from Rita?
Every one of my assets will go to her when I die. She's been so strong and has dealt with you for so long. It's the least she deserves.
This is all your fault, Rita. You just had to open your damn mouth. Now look at what you've done. Are you happy?
I am. I'm very, very happy. You deserve nothing less than this. I hope you rot. Get out of my house.
Sam tried to put up a fight, but none of us listened to him or even engaged with him. He eventually stormed out of the house while yelling out curses at us. When he left, I finally breathed a sigh of relief. My nerves started to come down, and I turned back to Bill and asked him if he was being serious about transferring all his assets to me. I was shocked, but also very grateful. I tried to tell him that he was going a little too far with it, but he assured me that I deserved it. He also told me that he had an opening in his company and that the job would be mine if I wanted it. He told me I could work from home until I was able to walk again. Needless to say, I was a mess of tears. I was so grateful for him. Over the course of the next 3 years, I officially got divorced from Sam, religiously went to physiotherapy, and in 2 years I was able to walk, although my legs still felt weak if I stood for this too long. But I gave it another year, and I was more than healed. I took up Bill's offer and worked at his company. I found myself enjoying life for the first time in a long time. Although I still felt weak if I stood for too long, I gave it another year, and I was more than healed. I took up Bill's offer and worked at his company. I found myself enjoying life for the first time in a while. I was doing well in every aspect of my life, and nothing could bring me down. As for Sam, I happened to run into him at a grocery store. He looked haggard, skinny, and like he hadn't He slept in a long while. He happened to recognize me. I tried to walk away, but he walked over to me.
You can walk,
Yeah, it turned out that my condition was curable.
So you lied to me, stole everything from me. You made me look like the villain for nothing.
Sam, you did that to yourself. It's been years, and if you still haven't recognized why what you did was wrong, you're beyond help.
All these years have been nothing but a struggle. Look at me, I'm constantly tired, and I'm all alone.
I would care, but I literally can't bring myself to do it.
Dad was stupid to give you everything.
Oh, but I'm the one who's working harder than you and actually growing the business. In fact, just yesterday, your dad was telling me how he made a very smart decision to hire me in your place.
Doesn't matter, I'll talk to my dad and have him see the error of his ways.
Whatever, Sam. I wish you nothing but luck. Bye.
Just running into him and seeing him look desolate made me feel great. He finally got what he deserved. It's sad that he still thinks that he's right, but oh well. That's none of my concern now. I just plan on living my best life, surrounded by people who actually care for me. I'm done making excuses for people, and I've learned what my worth is. I hope that all of you who are listening will take a page out of my book and know that your worth is always more than being treated like trash. Always stick with the ones that are there for you at your lowest, because they will be the ones that soar with you at your highest.